Hello, welcome to Analog Stick, a video game retrospective podcast. Every month we play through one game, except we're not, because we
fucked it up.
we fucked it up so bad. I know you may be panicking right now. If you've been a fan of the show for a while, you know that a beach episode spells doom. Except it's okay. It's okay. I promise it's going to be okay. We tried to record the episode and we fucked it up. I fucked it up. Didn't mean to throw you under the bus, Morgan.
That's all right. I've done it once before.
Yeah, I was. I fucked up my recording. After 2 hours and 30 minutes into the first recording of The Last of Us, because we knew it was going to be multiple parts.
Do you want to talk about it? Do you want to talk about what happened? What the fuck up was?
I recorded the entire episode through the microphone on my PS5 controller. And in my defense, everything... there's a couple tells that I should have picked up on. First of all, I should have listened back to my goddamn recording. But second of all, I don't change my setup ever. I don't do anything. I don't plug in microphones except the PS5 controller, which is apparently a goddamn microphone and a speaker. It just fucks up everything. Why? Sony? Why? Let's go back to simplicity. PS2, DualShock 2. Did we need an improvement? I mean, yeah, but not this much. We didn't need all this shit. So we fucked up the recording. We're very tight on time. So we're coming at you with a beach episode. Some people overjoyed. I hear them cheering right now. Some people have already, they didn't click on this episode, so it's fine. It's all okay. Thankfully, we have ample things to discuss because I have had almost no spare moments. Yeah, I got an oil change. I think like June 8th. Mm-hmm. Then within 2 weeks, I've put like 3,000 miles on my car.
Good God.
I've driven in many states. I've had no weekends. Yeah. Most of my weeks have been occupied as well with a variety of fun events. Fun events ranging from vacation in the Smoky Mountains to my wife getting her wisdom teeth out. So a ton of fun stuff.
Well, I was going to say, when you say fun stuff, is that like in air quotes for some of that, or
it's not all fun? Okay. That's the joke, everybody. It's not all fun. Some of it is not fun. Went to like a wedding. What else did I fucking do? I don't even know. I had to go.
What?
Wake the fuck up, me. Almost doxed myself.
This is okay. This happened in our botched recording session too, where you just
God.
You need to get your attention, future Clayton. Pay attention.
Hey,
pay attention.
Wake up. Yeah. I'm just like in a slump at my desk, like, as I'm editing this podcast. Like, yeah.
Because you're gonna have to edit this like today or tomorrow.
Yeah, so here's the thing. If something needs edited, here's what we're gonna do.
Okay. Okay.
Edit this part.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna pay attention to it right now, and I'm gonna trust the rest.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I'm gonna make notes like we're doing anyway. This is a bunch of bullshit.
That's the whole episode.
This is the whole episode is random bullshit. So yeah, normally I was literally in the intro spiel and I just fucking stopped because it wasn't accurate.
Yeah.
But yeah, normally if this is your first episode, stop first of all.
Yeah, pick something else. Pick another episode. No, don't just like leave the show. Pick another episode of the show. Get to know us and then come back for this one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But don't hurt our algorithm. I need you to finish the video still. But just put it down. Set your phone off in the corner, let it play through
2 hours.
Let it play through for 2 hours. Your phone is in timeout for the next 2 hours. Then pick another episode. Might I recommend Resident Evil 4? Morgan, you got any recommendations?
Oh, shit. What was it good?
It's our best episode.
Go listen to Rule of Rose.
That didn't turn anyone off. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that didn't make anybody mad. Well, I was going to say it's our longest one. I think it's one of our
second longest.
So
Final Fantasy has dethroned it.
I don't know if that will win us any algorithm brownie points because it's the longest one.
I don't know what the algorithm values. I don't put too much stock in it. I just label our episodes title of game retrospective. So
okay,
I'm out here killing the game on YouTube.
I would say I'm still proud of our Final Fantasy X episode. So maybe go check that one out. Maybe.
Yeah, I'm proud.
Yeah.
I'm proud that we managed to get it out.
Yeah.
Without dying or anything. 4 recording sessions, I think.
Oh my God. I didn't remember.
I think because one failed. I don't remember. Final Fantasy was the one that failed. I think we said Kingdom Hearts.
No, it was Kingdom Hearts. We said.
Are you positive it was Kingdom Hearts?
No, it was definitely Kingdom Hearts because I had to do my whole Gnosticism lecture fucking all over again.
Ah, was that Kingdom Hearts?
Yes.
Are you sure? I feel like there was some...
Yes, because I was reading the Ansem lore, the Heartless lore, the Kingdom Hearts is actually Pleroma lore, if you know anything about Gnosticism.
Mm-hmm.
I know what the people want. They want to hear about esoteric religions.
Yeah, so if you are a first-time listener, if any of this is enticing you, and I know it is, go check out one of those episodes. But yeah, normally we're like a book club for video games. We play a video game, we come back, we discuss it. It's like a book club. We encourage you to join. You're not allowed to participate, though. We're just hogging the mic. It's like we're the annoying people at the book club who just won't shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And you have to just oh my God. Clayton's been talking about fucking dehumidifiers for 45 minutes.
They bring up boobs a lot.
They bring up boobs a lot. God, I thought we were talking about fucking Jack and Daxter, a children's game. They won't stop talking about boobs. Yeah. I'm trying to watch this with my son, and now he's... Yeah, okay. That's what we do normally. We also do other stuff. Housekeeping. What a smooth segue.
To be clear, you mean housekeeping for the podcast, not actual literal get out the broom, start sweeping the house. Okay.
You know what this podcast reminded me? I gotta clean the house. I'll be back. Yeah.
No, come back.
We put up a Celeste speedrun. So previous month, Morgan did a speedrun of Spyro the Dragon for the PS1. It was pretty fun. We didn't time it. I think going forward, I would like to time these speedruns. I think that'd be fun. We did have the in-game clock running for Celeste, so yeah, there's that. Celeste is a game that I have not played in probably 4 years. I just said 4 years in the title. I don't know if that's fucking true. I just made that shit up. That's a little peek behind the curtain there. But yeah, if you're interested, honestly, I like the video stuff. People seem to like the video stuff. We're going to keep doing the video stuff. I'm going to shoot for once a month. So now we put out 2 videos in a month. Still 1 podcast. It is what it is. Mm-hmm. We could put up the audio version. That would be so horrendous.
What, of just the gameplay?
Here's the audio of a speedrun.
Yeah, here you can hear my controller clicking in the background. And you cannot see what I'm cussing about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for now it's a YouTube exclusive.
Yeah.
So if you're a podcast listener and you want to check this out, here's your reminder to check it out. And to anticipate them roughly in the middle section of each month.
Yeah, somewhere from the 15th to the 18th, probably. Yeah,
somewhere in those teen range, 10 to 20 is what I'm going to say.
Okay.
10th to 20th, but yeah. All right, moving on. Listener letters. Please continue to write into the show. You can, of course, leave a comment on YouTube or Spotify, but our favorite mode of communication is email. We're like your 40-year-old uncle who's like, please email me or something like that. I don't know. Did you have an uncle who you corresponded with through mail or email?
I have no uncles.
Just me. All right. Yeah, you can send us a letter at analogschtickmail@gmail.com. Link should be in the description. If it's not in the description, again, check another video. It might be in that description. Give us your game recommendations. Let us know how you're enjoying the show. And feel free to share any fun memories you have about the games that we've discussed or plan to discuss. Just like Dan, who says, greetings from Australia. Hey guys, love the pod. Oh, fuck.
Hold on.
I'm sorry.
I heard that. I heard a hint. A hint of...
Good day, guys.
No. Yeah. Oh, my God.
No, he says, hey guys, love the pod. So happy you're back. I was worried the hiatus was permanent. Don't worry. We're back.
We're like cockroaches.
Even if you didn't... Yeah, we won't go away, actually. You think you got rid of us, but then we appear 6 months later.
Yeah.
A year later. I was wondering if you would consider an episode on GTA Vice City. It's a game I have much nostalgia for. The soundtrack, the characters, the Miami 80s vibe. Let me know what you guys think. It might not fit your niche. P.S. I would also love a Ratchet & Clank 2+3 episode. Dan. Good luck, Dan. Good luck out there in the Outback. But as far as Vice City goes, I think that would be a perfect episode for the impending release of GTA 6. So it was on top of mind because I think it's fun to do a little tie-in episode. You know, new game coming out, play the game that was like the retro game that it was from the same series or whatever. So yeah, Morgan, any thoughts on playing GTA Vice City? Should we skip 3? Should we go straight to Vice City?
Is that the one where you can buy fast food meals and make yourself throw up?
I think that might be San Andreas.
Oh, okay.
I think San Andreas had more life sim elements.
Oh, okay. Well,
San Andreas.
I'm still down to try it, so.
Yeah, I am. Morgan, do you know the controversies surrounding San Andreas?
Is that the one where they like hid an inappropriate game, a mini game in there?
Oh, yeah. I don't remember exactly how it was included in the game. I feel like it was just like in the game's code, and like maybe you couldn't even get to it without a PlayStation equivalent of a Game Genie or something like that. But there was like a sex mini game. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And, just coming clean right now, brave young Clayton did look up the sex mini game at some point in his life. And it was just fully clothed, like PS2 characters, just dry humping.
I was going to say, it's like a Ken doll.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And that's how I learned what sex was. It was the hot coffee mini game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Unfortunately, nothing like that in Vice City, as far as I know. Maybe we'll discover it. I was going to say,
we should play it and find out. Also, I would also love a Ratchet & Clank 2 and 3 episode.
That would be good. We need to get back to those series.
Yeah. And since I am, I do get to make episode suggestions for about half of these. That will be coming up eventually.
About half. Yeah.
About half.
I like to maintain roughly 51% control over the podcast. Majority share of the podcast.
Right.
So, yeah. Thanks, Dan. We also we've had a series of letters from Sloan, who we've talked about before on the podcast, constantly writing in. Some would say the favorite child of the pod. I'm just throwing that out there. If anyone wants to compete for that title, feel free.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sloan, I'm not going to read her email, but she did something that I want to share. I want to throw it out there just to rub it in everyone's faces. Kind of like, like whenever your favorite kid, not that we have kids, but like whenever the favorite kid like does well on a test, it's like, look how well Jennifer's doing.
Yeah.
Guys,
this is our favorite little gamer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sloan shared a picture of her in front of her local game store with a poster that she printed of our podcast, our stupid podcast, where we talk about boobs and dehumidifiers. Yeah. She put that out in front of the world. And that was insane. Morgan, what was your reaction to seeing this?
It's so surreal. We've talked about this before, where it's like, we feel like we're just kind of like talking out into the void. And so when someone is like, hey, I like what you do. In fact, I like it so much. I'm going to make a poster and I'm going to get permission from my local game store to go hang it up so that other people can participate in the thing. I'm like, holy shit, what? That's insane to me.
Yeah, that is it's
incredibly heartwarming, but
it's
just
unbelievable.
Insane as well.
Yeah, it is so strange. I don't know. We bring it up many times, but we like to talk about how the views on our first episode was a total of 2.
Yes.
Which was me and Morgan.
Yes.
And it is steadily increased. We still have a very, very small audience, but consistently bringing in like 100 to a couple hundred people it's like, oh, that's nothing. But then you realize, oh, those are people, and some of them like us. Some of them hate us.
Yeah.
Some of them hate us, but some of them like us, and that's weird. So
I was gonna say, if you're hate listening right now, maybe, I don't know, think about it.
Yeah. You know what? Maybe it's time to put the podcast down.
Yeah.
Again, leave it in the corner. Let it finish.
Yeah.
But maybe don't click on the next episode.
Right.
Just let it be. Although that might hurt the algorithm too, so I might need you to keep clicking. But again, you don't need to listen to it. Just set it in the corner. That's all right. But yeah, thank you, Sloan. Moving on to the topic. Our random bullshit segment that is going to take up the next however long we need to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a list of some of the shit that we've done this month, and we're just going to hash it out. And you guys are going to love it. And if you don't love it, again, just set it in the corner. But yeah, let's get into it. Morgan, we've discussed that we have different flavors of autism. And sometimes that, leads to hyperfixation on seemingly random things. You've been texting me about ghost hunting, and I'm curious.
Yes.
I'm curious to actually talk to you about it. Can I ask what prompted this, if anything?
Oh, what did prompt this? Okay, so here's the thing about me, is I have always been, a big fan of cryptids, and I've been a fan of people who
Is that like a skinwalker?
Yeah, kind of. Well, that's like, I don't know if you would say. See, I don't know like what's the correct category for each thing to fit into, because at what point does a cryptid become folklore? At what point does it become a myth?
I liked how you said folklore.
Folklore. Sorry, accent came out a little bit. Anyway, but so like a skinwalker, I would say that might belong in like, and I think there might be some Native Americans who like believe like that's like part of their like faith and their culture. So I don't know if that would actually fit in the cryptid realm. I have no idea. But like Bigfoot or like the Fresno Nightcrawlers. Mothman.
Nightcrawlers.
Yes. The Chupacabra. El Chupacabra.
The Wendigo.
I think that might be a different name for Skinwalker. I'm not actually sure though. Those two are analogous in my head.
I'm looking at the Fresno Nightcrawler right now, and
they're just like a walking pair of pants.
It is just a walking pair of pants. In
Yes.
fact, I've got a great picture right here that I'm gonna drop in the recording channel for me in the future. Yeah, use that one because I like that one quite a bit.
That's so cute. Yeah, I like that. I really like that. Anyway, so I've always had a fascination with cryptids, and I've loved. I had a phase in high school. Clayton, I don't know if you remember this or if I ever talked about it, but I had a phase where I watched obsessively Bigfoot documentaries.
I didn't. I missed this.
I watched the show Finding Bigfoot. I used to have recurring nightmares about being attacked by Bigfoot because I was watching.
Being attacked by Bigfoot?
Yes,
I thought Bigfoot was docile.
No,
like I didn't think that he fucked with people.
It depends on who you, like, which like witness you interview, right? Because some of them are like, yeah, I was just a hairy man and I saw him in the woods. And then some of them, there's like this one lady who's like, he came up to my house and he asked me for butter.
What?
It's like some like really out there testimonies, maybe, or witness statements. But yeah, so I would have nightmares of like, I mean, like in my front yard, seeing Bigfoot coming out of the woods and like running up. And you know how like when you try to run in a dream, you can never move as fast as you want to move. Getting halfway in the door and then him grabbing my ankles and dragging me out of my, like, I'm talking about like horrifying, like, or punching through my bedroom window and like leaning in over top me when I'm laying in bed, like insane nightmares. And that didn't stop me from watching the documentaries. I was too committed. I was too into it. So, but anyway, so I was watching, I would watch Finding Bigfoot. Fucking hilarious. Fucking goddamn hilarious show. Like they would say shit like, oh yeah, Bigfoot is notorious for like hunting deer. Deer are like their main source of prey. And what they do is they pick up a rock and they throw it at the deer. And when they throw a rock, it can reach upwards of 60 miles an hour. And I'm like, how do you know this? Have you seen this happen? Because they've never like seen Bigfoot, or they sneak up on a deer and they push them so they roll down the hill and break their legs. And it's like, you're just making shit up. You don't know this.
Also, I love the whole like sneaking up in the woods thing. Real quick.
Yes.
This is a thing that comes up in a lot of TV shows and stuff. People getting like jump scared in the woods. Like Walking Dead does this all the time. Like a zombie just like
appears,
snuck up on you in the woods. If you've never been in the woods,
it's loud as fuck.
You're not sneaking up on shit.
No.
Especially if you're like Bigfoot. Right. Known for big steps.
Who's like over 6 feet tall, heavy as hell, just walking through the undergrowth. That's going to make swishes. You're going to break branches. It's going to be loud. But yeah. So I've always kind of had a fascination for these like eccentric, like I'm convinced that I saw this thing, or you have like enough evidence that you saw this mysterious thing that it makes you think, oh, but like what if, right? It's like, I wouldn't call myself a believer, but like I'm a very open-minded skeptic. So when it comes to ghost hunting, that's like the same approach of like, I'm fascinated by like the experiences that people say that they've had, and also like the whole process of like, okay, we're gonna, put ourselves in this environment. We're gonna try to like collect evidence and just sort of treat it as long as it's like an honest process. Like I know there's probably like ghost hunting teams that go in and fake, or like really put on a show for the cameras or whatever. I don't like that, but I do like, I think is it BuzzFeed Unsolved or is it BuzzFeed Paranormal Unsolved? I don't remember what the exact series was called, but that was like popular like back in the late 2010s, I think. And then those two guys, Ryan and Shane, went and started their own YouTube channel called Watcher. And they have a ghost hunting show on their channel now. So that's what I've been watching because they're like not really playing anything up for the camera. Like they're more honest about their investigation, but it's still like you still get the fun experience of like these two goofballs going in and like trying to capture evidence of ghosts or whatever. And one of them is a skeptic and one of them is a believer. But yeah, so that's just kind of what got me sucked in was the whole BuzzFeed thing and then moving over to that channel.
I gotta say, I feel like that's the correct dynamic, is having
a skeptic and a believer.
A skeptic and a believer.
Where would you say that you fall on the spectrum?
I fall down. I'm not even skeptic. Skeptic implies that you're like, maybe. I'm just flat out. No. This is not real.
Okay. Well, I was gonna say, so Shane, they call him a skeptic, but he is flat out like, no, this is not a thing. And they do
I like that they're calling him a skeptic. It's almost like they're optimistic that they can convince him.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, he's exploring his faith right now.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But so part of like the segment of their show is they'll go into like the haunted location like one at a time for part of it. And every time the believer Ryan goes in, he's always like freaking the hell out because he's like worried he's gonna, he really wants to prove that ghosts exist, but he's also like scared of them. So it's this weird like tension whenever he's in there by himself. Meanwhile, Shane is just chilling, like does not give a fuck. Like his blood pressure, everything's chill. He's just having a good time sitting in a dark room and doing nothing.
See, the issue is that I think I would be scared.
Yeah.
And I couldn't help it.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing is it's like they go to like really strange, uncomfortable places. Like they go to like these really big, like old creaky houses or like abandoned insane asylums and like or like old prisons, like stuff that it would be very unsettling to be there even if you don't believe in like spirits or whatever. Like I would be afraid of running into like I don't know, like a tweaker or something who's just like happens to be wandering around in there. Like there's more than ghosts to be afraid of in that situation, or like falling through the floor. I don't know if it's like a really shitty old building.
Yeah, I guess there is an innate human fear, not innate human fear, but a commonly held fear of the dark and I don't know, unsecure bases. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, if you're hanging out in Alcatraz, it's like, I don't know, this is unfamiliar.
Yeah, no, yeah, and I'm pretty sure they did go to Alcatraz. Well, and it's also hard because like, well, like with a lot of these old buildings, like I think there was one they went to a courthouse, and they're like, oh, like there's all this like crazy like knocking sounds or whatever like in the building, and it's like, well, the room that you're in is mostly made of wood, like wood paneling, and so when wood absorbs humidity or whatever, like when the temperature changes, that makes it like expand and like flex, and that's what all the popping is. But it's still enough to make you like, ooh, like what is that? Or like what if it's actually something sneaking up on me and I'm just attributing it to the wood popping or whatever. But no, there's plenty to be scared of still, I would say.
Maybe it's like similar to how it's hard to be snuck up on in the woods. It's like maybe there's something in us that's just like pop, like there's a pop and you just go, ooh, there's an animal. I don't know. There's something, there's a predator.
Right. Well, and that's like part of, I mean, so there's like I don't know if you would call it like a theory or maybe like a hypothesis about like anxiety disorders in people and how when you think about it, if you're living in like prehistoric, maybe like caveman times and you have anxiety, you might be more likely to survive than someone who's not anxious, because if you are cueing into every little shift and noise around your campsite, even if you're having like, even if it's like a false positive, the one time there is something sneaking up on you, since you check every single time, then you're the one who lives because you detect the threat first. You know what I mean?
Also, when it comes to like, you know, ancient-ish civilizations and like belief in like spirits and ghosts and stuff, I find that much more believable. I'm going to share with you real quick a picture of the effect of light pollution.
Well, sorry, what are all these pictures that come back to chat? And I see two Fresno night walkers. I see the Finding Bigfoot cast. Okay, light pollution. Okay.
So imagine just being a caveman, no science, and every night you see
that shit?
Of the fucking galaxy.
God. Well, and like, okay,
it's probably a very spiritual situation. You're probably willing to make stuff up.
That's true. Well, and also imagine like, okay, you don't know anything about like the physics of like the bodies and stuff like moving through space, and you see like a meteor or you see like an eclipse. It's like, oh fuck!
Oh my god! If you saw an eclipse, you'd be like, you just have no explanation for it. You're like,
the sun.
I don't even know.
The sun's gone.
God is dying or something.
Yeah, God is so mad at us. Everyone stop doing what you're doing right now. Oh, thank God the sun came back. Well, we must have done something right. Like,
man, if you understood, just like, I don't even know what it's called, but like the calendar that allows you to like predict eclipses, and you were just like in ancient caveman times, and you're like, you guys better listen to me or I'm going to take away the sun tomorrow.
And then it happens, and then like,
it happens. Oh, you know.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, we should slaughter people in your honor. It's like, no, stop. Too far.
Well, maybe a little. You know?
Would you go on a power trip with a caveman?
I might go on a power trip. If you gave me a little bit of caveman power, I might go on a power trip.
A little bit of caveman power. It sounds like horsepower, but with cavemen.
I'm just like sitting on like a throne of, I don't know, fucking pebbles. And I have like a nice chunk of meat. Yeah. Like a cartoonish chunk of meat. And there's a few like cave women like massaging my feet or something.
Sure.
I think it would go to my head.
Yeah. So, yeah. I think I would be into the painting, the painting on the walls. So just let me stay in the back of the cave and do that, and then I'll be fine.
Yeah.
Well, so speaking of like, we're getting off topic. Oh, actually, no. This will come back around. So in terms of like the evolution of human thought and belief around spiritual entities, including ghosts, there is a biblical scholar that I am a big fan of. I enjoy his content a lot. His name is Dan McClellan. And he wrote a book that is available online for free. You would have to look him up and find his link tree, because I think he has a link to a free PDF version of it or something. But it's basically about like the cognitive evolution of humans and how, as humans, like when we develop in our early years, we learn to attribute agency to other humans around us. And his theory is that like throughout that process, like learning like, oh, I see, this human have like an impact on the environment around them or have an emotional response. And then there's like a reaction that comes out of that. We start attributing that agency to other things in nature and assuming like, oh, there was like a crazy storm that blew through here yesterday. Maybe there's like a god somewhere that's mad at us, or there's like some like force that we just can't see that has agency that is impacting our environment. And so that's sort of like the evolutionary cognitive theory of where like beliefs around religion and spirits and unseen entities come from, which I think is fascinating.
I feel like that makes sense in a world without science.
Yeah.
Now that we have science, you can apply some reason to this stuff.
Yeah.
It's a little strange to still be assuming that the spirits are, dicking around, causing storms and stuff, but
right. Well, and like, and when bad things happen to you, right? Like if somebody gets sick and dies, or if a storm happens and like a tree falls on your friend, or like something upsetting, to deal with that grief and that like stress.
Ugh, no.
Yeah.
I'm imagining cavemen.
Bunga,
I thought it was safe under tree and lightning storm.
You're right. To like deal with that grief and maybe to process that like trauma, it might help to like attribute some sort of explanation to it as well. Like, oh, well, or I guess
that's true.
To self-soothe and be like, well, here's how we prevent it next time. Unga bunga, you don't get to pray to this god because if you pray to that god, it makes trees fall down. We pray to this god instead, or whatever.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Now that you're saying that, I'm like, you know what? I am the most Christian when things are shit.
Yeah, because you need something to, I don't know.
Comfort?
Yeah, it's comforting.
Greater purpose outside of whatever shit is happening in life or something.
Or to like, or to have like a reason or some sort of like something to apply to it all, to apply meaning to it. Yeah. No, it definitely makes sense. And like the book that I'm talking about, it gets like super duper deep and technical. I'm sure there's a lot of fascinating stuff in there. I tried to read it once and a lot of it went over my head, but it's still cool.
Yeah.
Still would, recommend looking into it if you're interested. But anyway.
Hey, I can't read, so that's for the audience.
What I was going to say was that, so now that we know this about like humans wanting to find agency in places where there might not even be agency to begin with. That explains, I mean, it makes perfect sense why ghost hunting is still like a big thing today and why it's like fascinating to us, because we like to think that there's something that we can like connect to that's like beyond what we can see and touch and stuff. So I will say though, I have a lot of problems with the process of ghost hunting. Because I feel like there's a lot of assumptions being made about how ghosts function. So, for example, a lot of ghost hunting equipment, well, a lot of it's scams, probably, because it's like, well, have you like actually ripped open the thing and made sure it has the components that it says it has or whatever on the tin? And also, there's this assumption that like a lot of it is based on like collecting EMF readings, which is like electromagnetic fields, which I tried to read the Wikipedia page on this. It was so fucking confusing. It was like giving me like these list of like theorems and like laws of physics and things. And I was like, so what is that? Like, what's like a real world example of any of this? And I couldn't find one. But basically the assumption is that if there are ghosts, they should have like an impact on these EMF fields or whatever. And it's like, well, how do we even know that? Like that feels like that baseline, there's not even solid proof for that baseline. So how do you know that like this foundational technology that all your tools are built on, like you don't even know if you're trying to collect evidence in the right way?
That is funny to just assert that this is how we prove it or something like that. Like, I don't know, if God is real, he's going to
put off
he's gonna steer my car.
Pulse. Yeah.
He's gonna I'm letting go of the wheel and he's gonna steer the car.
Yep.
Nope, God's not real.
Yeah, and I kind of wonder, so I did a little bit of research into the history of ghost hunting, and a lot of like what we think of like as the modern day ghost hunting started in the Victorian era when like technologies like the radio were just starting to come out, and like there were all these like technological advancements being made in like electronics and stuff. So when the radio came out, the Victorians were like, oh, I know how the radio works. There's this secret unseen ether realm, and the radio waves like travel through that. And so they're like, well, I bet if there's ghosts and they're in that ethereal realm or whatever, like that seemed to be like the line of thinking of like, well, if we can just get the ghosts to like interact with the radio waves, then we can probably talk to them. Mm-hmm. So it's interesting that like method has still persisted to this day.
Is that kind of true though? Are radio waves not visible to humans, but like, I don't know. See, you know how like we have like a limited range, and some like animals can see like more, or different parts of it.
I don't know if.
I think flies see in like infrared or something like that.
Okay, I was gonna say I don't know if there's any point where like a radio wave is visible on any sort of like light spectrum.
Oh, okay.
I feel like those might be two different things, but I don't know because it has to be.
I might be dumb. Morgan.
Yeah, I don't. Well, like I said, this is why I was trying to do the research on like the EMF stuff, because I was like, okay, well, what is it, and like why can't we see it? Like, is it? And it's essentially like, oh God, it's so hard to like even describe. It's like the energy that like passes through electrons. Like there's like electricity and there's magnetics, and it has something to do with both of those things, which is how it like, I don't know, wobbles through space, I guess.
Can I just say real quick?
Yeah.
We have the best, our little slice of like what we can see. But can you imagine just walking around seeing radio waves? How terrible would that be?
That would be terrifying, honestly, because as much shit as like we put out these days. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, that would suck. You probably wouldn't be able to see anything.
I don't know where 5G is in like the
oh well, yeah,
and then
there's people who think that they're allergic to 5G, which is not how that works, but
maybe if they could see it, they would know, though.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, the 5G's over there.
Yeah, and then if you let it touch you, I broke out in hives. Now I know that I actually am allergic to it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so there's like this problem that I have with the assumption that if ghosts are real, we're going to be able to detect them in this specific method. Again, I'm like, well, how do you know that, though? I don't know. And then also, okay, if you think that you are connecting to a spirit that belonged to a person who lived in this specific location, in this specific era, and died at this specific time, why the fuck do you think they're going to want to talk to you if you bumble into their house and start speaking to them in modern day English? You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, that's a good point.
Like, if you're talking to someone from like the 1800s, they're probably going to be like uncomfortable with you if you don't try to like meet them on their level. So I'm like, why don't you like, I don't know.
Can you imagine, first of all, being like a member of like the LGBTQ, going in there talking to a ghost? They'd probably be trying to like ghost stone you to death. They'd probably be... They'd
be like, I don't like this person's vibe. But like in 1800 speak, whatever that sounds like. I don't like the cut of his jib.
Yeah, whatever racist thing they want to say, they'd say it in Old English.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, and like...
You know what? Fuck ghosts. They're probably racist.
They might be.
We shouldn't be chatting with these ghosts. We should be talking shit at them,
Oh, man. But what if it was like, I don't know. There's like I think it's a Chris Fleming joke who says something about like a grandma who's like racist, but she's kind of like cute racist.
God.
Like.
I got some off-air things to say, but yeah.
Okay. You know what I mean, though, where it's like, oh,
yeah,
grandma.
I know what you mean. No. I know exactly what you mean, actually. But I'm not going to say it on the podcast, so.
Or maybe someone, or never mind, I'm not going to say
it. Okay.
What if they're just like trying really hard and they just don't know the right words to use? And so it's like, don't say that. But like, I know where you're coming from, but don't say it that way.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a pass to be giving people, but I give some people a pass when they are old because I'm just like,
sometimes
if a young person came up to me and said this would be different.
Right. Yeah, maybe because you're not so with it anymore. It's like, well, what are you going to do?
Yeah, the world changed. I understand. I don't know. Like, I understand you're confused.
Right.
What's the crystal and liquid intelligence or whatever? It's like, it's hard for you to learn things right now. I understand. It's hard for me to learn things too.
Plasticity, neural plasticity. I think maybe. Anyway, so yeah, I guess all that to say, I have issues with current ghost hunting methods. I think they could be improved at least a little bit. And it bugs me that the people who are actually bothering to go out there and do that don't seem to be applying those things. Even though I haven't expressed these opinions to them, I expect them to read my mind and be able to fix their shit.
Oh, so yeah. Now I don't have too much to add to like the actual ghost hunting things. I feel like I've watched ghost hunting shows here and there. I do recall like being a kid and maybe it was on like the Discovery Channel or the Discovery Channel. I don't know what it's called. Maybe not National Geographic. I don't know if they would stoop so low. But I definitely caught like ghost hunting shows and when like, there was one I remember that I was like, oh, this is so crazy. And I have to like keep watching it. And I like binged it as a kid to whatever extent you could binge something on cable TV. Right. Which was just, it was probably like a marathon of it or something. And I was just like, yeah, I got to see this. Because it was like the scariest thing ever. I was like, oh my God, ghosts are real. This is proof. But past that, I have not really engaged with any like actual ghost hunting stuff. Now I do love, and I don't know where you come down on this, one of my favorite forms to ingest like paranormal content is through creepypasta, basically. Like, okay. I'm more into like the I'm less into like the ghost hunting, like we're out here trying to find a ghost. I'm more interested in like the even if it's fake. I'm also down for fake like fictional stuff of this, but like the Reddit post that's like recounting something in like plain English, like I was doing this and this, and like there were like weird noises and I felt like a presence and stuff, and I'm like, that's my favorite like form of paranormal storytelling. I feel like is like firsthand encounter grounded in like a real life internet post or something like that. Yeah I really enjoy that type of stuff. There was a podcast that I was listening to for a while that was just like a compilation of this type of stuff.
Is it Creepcast?
No, it was from some dude who had a very heavy Australian accent. His name actually might have been Dan. But yeah, he was great. It was like a lot of like, basically everything was the same though, which was like, because it's like framed in this like internet post thing, there can't be peril. Like they can't die. Like it's like retrospective. Like I'm telling you about something that just happened to me. And also it can't be too crazy. Like it can't be like, oh, I got sucked into the 5th dimension of hell and I saw Mussolini and it was fucking what Bigfoot popped in through the wall like the Kool-Aid man and just stared at me. Inferno, yeah. So it is like a lot of like samey stuff where it's like, I don't know, I like went to this thing and I'm like, I heard something, or like I saw something in the distance, or blah 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 blah. And I like it in like bursts occasionally, but if you binge it, it is like, okay, we are making up the same story over and over again. So
I was gonna say, so I guess how I've engaged with that stuff is through Creepcast, like I just mentioned, which is Meat Canyon and Wendigoon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's their podcast where they read like classic creepypastas, or like they scour the internet for creepypastas and then read them.
I've been on a binge of that Papa Meat channel.
Same. For whatever reason, we've both been binging Papa Meat this week. The
stars aligned. We're on the same page right now.
Yeah. But so there's, I think the two that I remember that stuck out the most to me, there was one that was like, it was like a guy made like a blog, and was talking about how he was going cave diving. Or like spelunking or whatever, not cave diving like underwater diving, but like going into this cave, and his like it was kind of structured like journal entries. And I know how you just said, oh well, you can't have anything serious happen to them because then they stop posting. Well, that was one of those, I think, where it ended like I have to go back to the cave, and then he just never posted again.
Oh, so it's sometimes you get those. Sometimes you get those too. Yeah.
But that one was really well done.
That. Oh, implications are fun.
That one was really well done. And like there's also, I think it included pictures of like showing him squeezing through these like really tight like passages in the cave. So you get this like really claustrophobic, like, this is so dangerous. This is such a bad idea. But he keeps going back. And so it's like, it's effective that way. And you being like, why? And then the other one that genuinely gave me the heebie-jeebies, where I was like when I first started listening to it, I was kind of like, whatever. And then I was like, oh, this is making me feel like sick, because it's like hitting such a primal fear. Was, I think it's called something like, my wife keeps smiling at me from around corners.
Yeah, you told me about that.
That one fucked me up bad. like I would just be like alone in a room in my house, and I'd be like, what if something's watching me right now? And I just, and it like really wants me to see it, but like, it was so creepy.
Oh my God. Well, I think the deepest like fear you can prey on, in my opinion, is no longer being able to trust your spouse.
Oh yeah.
Like,
no, it was
partner.
terrible.
So like the idea of like creating a story where like your partner is like possessed, or like something spooky's going on like that. Did you explain it, or did I just?
Oh no, that was basically it. Or you you didn't repeat me or anything like that.
I was like, wait, did we explain this to the audience? But yes, we did. Okay. Yeah, that's fucking great. Didn't you say that Sage started doing that to you?
I think he might have like just like for the day, once. Like twice, just like peeked out, like, don't fucking do that to me, man. Not right now.
Stop.
Yeah. Well, and also the thing was, I think in that story, and the way that story ended was like really corny, and I thought it was stupid, but like the buildup was really good. And also, I don't think it's hard to land the plane.
I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
Well, and I don't think it ever explains like what was like possessing her, or what was like affecting. That's just not something. It's just like something's up, but we just don't know what. So that's kind of
in some ways, it is hard to land the plane, because the fear is like just your brain not knowing the conclusion, or just exaggerating what's going to happen. So
right,
I don't know.
Right, like what your brain creates on its own is going to be scarier than any like concrete explanation that can be provided by the thing, because
and not knowing what's going to happen is terrifying in its own right. So
yeah, I don't know how you would. I think this is probably dumb, because you don't want to do this every single time, because then it turns like cliche or whatever. But I think that ending of like the blog posts just like stop, and like you don't really know, like that's probably the most effective way to do it, or like the easiest effective way to do it. But
yeah. It does get tropey, but it's like I enjoy the format, I guess, of like, what is it? Claire was reading a book that is like a compilation of like text messages and like emails and stuff, which is kind of like this, where it's like framed in a form of communication or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is there a word for that type of storytelling? Like
what for like
chat logs and
I don't know if there is specifically for that, because there's analog horror, which is also kind of similar in that it can be mixed media, and it relies on like VHS footage, or I don't know, some sort of like visual thing. I think the most effective analog horror thing I've seen, and I think this is considered analog horror, it's called The Oldest View, and it's a guy who like gets trapped in an abandoned mall, and there's a statue in it, and that one also fucked me up really bad, and I hated that.
Morgan, we gotta watch some of this stuff together. I think that would be a hoot. I don't know why that's why I wanted to say.
Yeah.
Oh God, I know of like a couple things, and this is honestly like its own topic. I feel like we could do like a deep dive on like analog horror at some point. But
yeah, no, that would be fun.
Fuck, I'm like looking at this shit, and I'm like, oh God, it's making my skin
crawl. At The Oldest View?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's bad. Yeah,
I hate this.
I know. I was gonna say, I think I could only stand to watch it if someone was watching. Like, I cannot watch it by myself. Like,
it would still fuck us up.
Yeah.
It would absolutely still fuck us up.
Yeah. But no, I'm down. I'm totally down.
Oh my God, I'm just like looking through like other like screenshots of analog horror stuff, and I'm just like, well, I'm gonna have to like pop on an old Minecraft Let's Play before I go to bed now.
Right. Soothe yourself. I think we've talked about that before, haven't we? That's like,
we definitely I'm hearing the conversation. Yeah. This is basically what we're Okay. One of the other things in tangentially related to ghost hunting, just wanted to maybe chat a little bit about fictional ghost paranormal media, because I've had the hankering to jump into I often get the hankering to jump back into Goosebumps, just because I'm like, that was like the introduction to like horror. Is that fair to say? Spooky stuff.
No, yeah, it's definitely like horror for kids.
Mm-hmm.
I remember getting scared by the Goosebumps books when I was a kid.
It got me so bad. The show specifically. I don't know if I ever read the books.
Oh yeah,
because I couldn't read. So I'd be sitting there holding the book open like, this isn't scary at all. But yeah, the show got me a good few times. Yeah, I feel like the scariest thing for me, and I think we brought this up before, was Spirited Away. If we discuss Spirited Away,
the parents.
And this is something, with parents not believing you, or like being removed from your parents or something. That's like the scariest shit as a child, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Goosebumps. There's also, I was talking to some people at work. There's Tales from the Crypt, which
I've never heard of that. I don't think.
It's like I was told it is it is campy, but it's like a more adult Goosebumps.
Okay.
I don't know when it's from. We at work have a VHS collection, and we have a VHS of it, so I see it sometimes, and I'm like, it looks interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What about, I think probably my introduction to ghost media would have been Scooby-Doo.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, I probably watched Scooby-Doo too.
And that's not like scary. It's just old rich men.
Yeah. I don't know if there's any like, I don't know if there's ever like much to be scared of necessarily.
Oh, no, wait. The Zombie Island one did scare me because the zombies are real. Mm-hmm. And it's like, oh shit. Uh-oh. It's not just funny. Like a guy. It's like real zombies. I do remember that one scaring me.
It's like that scene in Resident Evil Degeneration where the cop goes to rip the mask off.
No, I think that literally happens. Like, I think they literally walk up to a zombie and try to rip the mask off, and then they're like, oh, fuck.
It does.
Zoinks.
It's really on there tight.
Yeah. And then, Courage the Cowardly Dog, which we talked about.
That's a good point, too.
In our Spyro Let's Play, we talked about that. So that also scared the shit out of me. Oh.
Twilight Zone is like kind of there. Twilight Zone doesn't like spook me, but it like makes me uncomfortable sometimes.
Yeah. No. You know what fucked me up? Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Oh,
Look up the artwork for Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, because that haunted me. Those drawings haunted me for years, and I still think about them from time to time and get creeped out. Especially, I think there's one that's called like The Wraith or something. Oh, I hated that. That was so bad.
I'm seeing some of these images right now, and I don't like them, Morgan.
I know. They're terrifying.
I do not like them. Let me see if I can. There we go. So there's this one. This is the cover series that you're talking. Covers like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think there were multiple books. Like there was like Scary Stories
right here.
Yeah, hate that. Yeah.
And then I also see a live action version of it.
Okay. Oh no.
Which is also terrible.
Oh no. I don't like that at all.
The Wraith. Is that what you said? The Wraith?
I think so. WRITH. I'm pretty sure that's what the story was called.
This is honestly kind of beautiful artwork, though.
Oh no, yeah, it's well done. Oh, I'm looking at it. Oh, I still don't like it, man. This is one that also fucked me up. Let me see if I can. Hello? Oh, it's down here. I have too many screens.
Oh.
Yeah. That was a bad one.
I don't like that. I don't like that.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, was it like how were the illustrations incorporated? Was it just like throughout the book?
Yeah. Yeah, it was throughout the
Okay.
book. And like, you know, it would have like the little like short story or whatever, and then yeah, the artwork would just sort of be there throughout.
Yeah, this is so evocative. Is that the right word?
Sure. Let's go with that. Oh, I found him. Oh, God. I hate him.
I'm like expecting a jump scare in the Discord channel
I hate
right
it
now.
so much. Oh.
Oh my god.
I know. He terrified me.
What is it about the dark? So like a lot of darkness around the eyes, but then bright white eyes. What is it about that?
So, I don't know. I mean, like we're very good at recognizing the whites of the eyes because that indicates expression, and it also indicates when something is watching you, or if another human is watching you. And if another human is watching you very intently, that might be a threat. That's my theory, at least.
Or what about like seeing animals in the dark? You just see their eyes or something?
Or like reflective eyes. That's an indicator of like, you know, a tiger or something that's probably going to try and pounce on you. And also, I mean, like in a lot of these, like the darker on the eyes might be a sign of like sickness. And so it's like, oh, well, we need to get out of here so we don't get sick.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know.
I don't like it.
No, I don't either.
Don't like it. All right, I brought up Goosebumps. I can't remember if there was anything else that I wanted to mention. We touched on analog horror. I mean, we are you satisfied with this topic?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, no, I would love to have a watch party or a reaction to The Oldest View.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
And by fun, I mean, you know.
It's not going to be fun.
You know. So you did one, and we did about, I don't know, 40 minutes on that.
Yeah.
Here's my thought. I'll pick one.
Okay.
And if we do about 40 minutes on that, call it good.
All right.
Just saying. Because, I mean, I have a lot I can talk about, but I also don't mind, like, narrowing it down.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because then it's like, okay, this podcast episode was about ghost hunting and weddings. I want to talk about weddings.
Okay. Okay.
Because I went to a wedding this summer. That was one of the many things that occupied my time. I drove 8 hours.
Jeez.
I went up to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. Never been there. Very cool. It's interesting, like, driving up there. There is, like, a moment where it's like, I'm in a different biome right now. Like,
oh, yeah.
We've discussed it before. We spend a lot of time in the Midwest. But going that far north is something I have not done. And going up there, it's like, oh, these are like spruce trees or something. I don't know if they were spruce trees, but they were like different, you know, foliage and stuff happening. And I was like, this is strange.
Different type of Minecraft biome.
I know. Yeah, I'm in a different Minecraft biome. We have expanded biomes.
Yeah.
On the server of the world. So it's not very often that I, you know, get to leave like our forest biome. I don't know exactly what. Plains biome, maybe? Plains biome, yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. But, yeah, I went to a wedding. This wedding was structured a bit differently. It was, like, in a cabin. So we, like, stayed overnight, or at least the people that were roughly our age. I kind of thought of it as more of it. It kind of felt like a geriatric college party to me.
By geriatric?
Because it was like we were doing the college party things. You know, there was alcohol, ample alcohol.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
There was, you know, people were vaping. There was marijuana there. There was many things there. There might have been more illicit substances. I went to bed at 8:30.
Oh my God, okay. Okay, so geriatric, got it.
Yeah, geriatric, but like just the way things were happening, like everyone was like moving pretty slow. Nothing got wild. Everything was pretty tame. These people are like my age to like 30. So like 26 to around 30. So we're not spring chicken. We're, you know, some of us have bad knees.
I was going to say bad knees, back pain.
Back pain. Maybe you have stomach issues,
Right.
that type of stuff. So just like hearing people talk about like how it's like, yeah, I can't go that hard, or like, no, I'm not, I've had enough and stuff like that. It was kind of funny to me. Yeah. And I went to bed at 8:30. So also because we had to like leave early because we had to drive like 8-9 hours back.
Jeez.
So we snuck out at like 7, and it was like I was playing fucking Metal Gear Solid sneaking out of there because everyone else was still asleep. And this was like a cabin that like slept like 25 people. So there was just like a lot of like futon, mini bedrooms, just a lot of beds throughout.
Yeah.
And some of them were like in open spaces, and it was like kind of thin walls. So like people were audible if you were, moving around, which, hey, who gave me a side eye? Yeah.
Hey.
People were audible.
In a cabin full of 25 people?
No, I'm not saying that happened. I'm not saying that happened. I'm just saying.
Sorry. I thought you were saying that happened, and I was like, what? What?
No, I don't think anything happened because people were so audible.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we like snuck out of there. I have this like, I think it's like a Santa Claus, like, toy sack prop. So it's like this big sack, and that's what I use for like when I travel. So I look like a burglar, is what I'm trying to say.
I was going to say, why? Why don't you have a suitcase?
Well, we do have a suit. So here's how this works. I fold up the burlap sack. This is a life hack for anyone who's interested.
Oh, does the dirty laundry go in the sack?
Dirty laundry goes in there.
Oh.
Yeah.
I see.
So as you transition, from clean clothes to dirty, it's like, all right, the duffel bag gets condensed, maybe sits on top of, I don't know, it's just light, it's just whatever. And then you have the sack. So whenever you get home, it just goes straight in the laundry. Very exciting podcast, everybody.
Travel strats.
Yeah. So I just wanted to paint the picture that I looked like a burglar sneaking around this house.
Right. Okay.
I'd step on like a creaky floorboard. There'd be people snoring. They'd be going, and then I'd step on the floorboard and they go, and then they'd start snoring again. Yeah.
It's like a Sly Cooper level.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
You freeze. Everybody freezes.
Yeah.
And then they start snoring and you keep moving.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that was funny. But, weddings. We are like in the era of weddings, like mid-20s, late 20s. It's like people are getting married. People are getting hitched.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly when this will end. Amongst the people, like the people around where we live now, the friend group that has been created for where we live, we are like the oldest, not by a wide margin, but like we're the ones who are married. They are not yet married. So I imagine that there will be more weddings to come for me.
Yeah.
And yeah, Morgan, I don't know. Like, have you been to a lot of weddings in your 20s?
Yeah.
Like, I can count on off the top of my hand. The first one that I've been to as not a like child was my own.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. So that was, I don't know. Like, I had no like standard or like anything to really base it on.
Yeah.
Because it was the first one that I'd been to.
Yeah.
And then I went to our friend Gavin's, and then I went to yours.
Yeah.
Yours and Sage's.
Well, you were the best man in mine.
I was the best man, yes.
And your wife
was
was
the best man to you.
Woman.
Yeah, and best woman.
Yeah.
And then I went to like a couple of like Claire's friends, and that was like, it's weird because those first three, the first one I was the groom, and then the next two I was in the wedding.
Yeah.
So I didn't really get the experience of just going to weddings.
Yeah.
Until like Claire's friends and stuff. It is different. I don't know. Like I've gathered some thoughts, and I like thinking about my own wedding. Mm-hmm. I have like opinion. I'm grateful I did things a certain way. I'm regretful that I did other things. Another way. But yeah, I mean, I've been talking for a little bit. I'm just curious. Like, do you have anything?
So I feel like my wedding era has kind of passed. Like the people in my life. So I feel like in college I went to a lot of weddings for like people like a few years, like my age.
You rolled
or a
with
few
like
years.
a church crowd. I said church crowd. Church crowd.
Yeah,
Getting married young.
Yeah. It was people in the church crowd. Well, and I was going as somebody's date. Like it wasn't like I wasn't particularly close to them, but I was a date there. And then I went to yours. And then some cousins, quite a few cousins got married actually, like all at once. And then mine. And then I think there was one that I was supposed to go to not too long after mine, but I had a migraine, so I couldn't. So Sage had to go by himself, poor guy.
Oh yeah, I remember this.
Yeah. And then I think after that, I haven't been to one. I don't think I've been to one since my own, actually.
Oh.
So, okay. And we've been married. Sage and I have been married for like 2.5 years-ish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is crazy. Like, oh man, I've been married for like almost 4 years. It's like, that doesn't seem right. But it is right. That's how math works, and time.
I would just like to say, I don't know if we've ever mentioned this on the podcast, but at your wedding, I had to give the speech.
Well, yeah, you gave the speech for me.
Yeah, right. But I think
you had to. You had to. I was there was actually a sniper about 500 yards away.
Right. Yeah, I would just like to say, so Claire got a very cute, very sweet, heartfelt speech from her sister.
I have to real quick interject.
Yeah.
It was also the classic bridesmaid speech.
It was, yeah.
You know, and you know what I'm saying. If you've been to a wedding, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. But very sweet, very heartfelt.
Very sweet.
And then for my speech, what I decided to do, this is going to require...
me.
Yeah, no, which I feel like that's also like expected.
That is also the typical best man speech.
Right. But specifically what I was roasting you for was such a specifically you thing. Like, it's not anything typical, like making fun of them for being like drunk, or like, I don't even know what grooms typically get made fun of for.
Oh my God.
Or like stupid stuff. But like what I made fun of you for was so fucking specific. And so what it was, this is going to require some research for our listeners. Look up the Grizzly Man documentary, okay? You just need to know the Grizzly Man. You need to know what he was about, who he was, what happened to him. Okay, this was a real man. This was a real tragedy.
I like how you preface it with real.
Yes. And Clayton, when we were in college, made the mistake of telling me that he had to watch this documentary for a filmmaking class. Is that right? Do you want to explain what happened?
I think it was like, I don't know. It was like an introductory like film studies class, basically. And we went through many, different genres of movie, and we covered this movie for. I did not read the genre that we were covering. I just inferred it after watching the movie. And to me, it seemed very exaggerated in a way that I thought was some form of, maybe, dare I say, foreign comedy. Just throwing that out there.
Perhaps a mockumentary.
Perhaps not real is basically what I'm. Perhaps not real. Little did I know we were in fact studying one of the most prolific documentarians and one of their real works about a real person.
Right.
Not a joke.
No.
Werner Herzog, I am sorry if you're listening, and I know you are.
It was him narrating it. That's so funny. Oh my God. But
I'm sorry. I respect the work.
Right.
I just didn't know.
And dare I say, there may have been some uncontrollable laughter, some giggling.
There was.
In class.
And I got to tell you, it was not everyone who was laughing. In fact, it was no one else. It was just me laughing at a real story of a man being eaten by a bear. Yep.
Yeah. So I got to rat him out about that in front of his
friends and family. And also, real quick, I think we just got... I didn't speak much in that class. Didn't have much to say other than laughing at this man's demise. So
shit, man. Well, did anyone talk to you in that class, especially after that incident?
I sat by myself.
Okay. Yep.
You know?
Well,
participation was not required, therefore I did not participate.
Yep.
Other than making certainly people around me very uncomfortable with.
Well, I feel like I also remember you saying something. So in this documentary, it's the guy's own footage that he filmed when he was out there with the bears. So he's sitting there, and there's bears like only a few yards away from him, and you thought it was like a green screen. Because the way some of it's framed, it does, I will give you credit, it does look very green screen-esque in some of the shots.
Yeah, green screen in a bowl. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So. Anyway. So now that we've talked about that, do you want to talk about wedding regrets or your opinions? Your wedding opinions?
Yeah. So I guess opinions, first of all. I'm going to throw this out there. And this is coming at you a little bit, except it's not because I don't give a shit that much. This is just an opinion that I've developed. All right. And I didn't do this either. We had a cash bar. And it is like there's exceptions. If you're young and poor, I don't really care. If you're older and have money, I feel like there's just a like reciprocal, I'm asking you to take time to give me one of your weekends basically. To travel potentially fairly far. Yeah. And, attend this event. And in return, I'm going to pay for your food and pay for your alcohol. So I believe that an open bar is important. We did a cash bar. So I think we had like some things available just for people. I also don't drink much, and I did not drink at my own wedding.
I think at one point Sage and I kidnapped you. Well, that's a little strong.
Before you guys left, we drove around for a little bit.
Yeah, we took you out of your own reception and just drove around in the woods for a bit.
Mm-hmm. And that's okay. I'm a very I'm not big into, I don't know. I'm the type, I've thought about picking up smoking just because I thought it would fit my personality. You know what I mean?
Well,
I'm the type of person who just needs to step out of the event for a little bit.
Yeah.
And just sit there in silence and be like Ben Affleck, just.
The meme. Yeah.
Not because I'm dying, just because I'm all right, this is nice. Just recharging a little bit. Yeah. And so we basically did that before you guys went home, but.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, the open bar thing, I feel like the open bar thing is something that I would have redone. And also potentially better food. We just did everything very cheap because we were 22 and 23. I was freshly 23 when we got married, 2 days before. So yeah, that's one. I guess regret / opinion that I've created. Now, Morgan, was yours a dry wedding?
Oh yeah, had to be.
Yeah, it was dry wedding. Dry wedding.
Dry wedding.
And that was family, right?
Yep. Yeah. Also, I am not a dancer, so I also did not opt to. And you know what? Okay, here's the thing. DJs and I, just as two concepts, two entities in this world, do not get along. It's not okay. It's not that I hate DJs. I'm not I think that DJs are bad people. I don't have but someone
on the Venn diagram of personalities, DJ and Morgan do not overlap.
Yeah. Well, and it's someone who I don't know, who I'm only going to be around for this event, yelling at me and telling me what to do. And also sometimes it's awkward because it's they're saying things and you can't hear what they're saying. Just the constant interruptions with the yelling. It gets to me. I can't handle it.
So I want to bring up, because this is one of the regrets I was going to bring up.
Yep.
Or dare I say wugwets that I was going to bring up.
Oh, no.
Is we had a DJ with a significant lisp, because I, like Morgan, was like, I don't need a DJ. I don't want a DJ. My mother, who was helping me plan the wedding, and I think Claire's mom too, but my mom specifically was very insistent, like, no, you need someone to operate the sound. And I was like, no, we don't need that. Just get...
You do not. I'm just going to say right now, you do not.
Get someone... I disagree on this, but just get someone with a speaker and fucking, a Spotify playlist. It's fine. So we basically missed our window to book someone who I thought was much better, who actually did our friend Gavin's wedding. And we know him personally, and we didn't know he was good. In fact, I was a little worried that he was not good. And that's why I was not very excited to have him do the wedding. But after seeing him do Gavin's wedding, I was like, oh, he was good. Because he was I think that he probably adapts to the couple getting married pretty well, as far as how much to interject and how much to just shut the fuck up and keep the music going. So I thought he did great at Gavin's, and I was like, man, I wish he did mine. The person that we hired was sort of a last minute hire, who, among a couple other things. So the main funny thing was, I didn't meet him until I walked into the reception, by the way, and he was introducing us. And he has a significant lisp, and there's just a lot of R's in our name. Me and Claire, or L's, I guess. Quait?
Yeah, I don't exactly remember what it was. Yeah.
Quaiton and Quair, which, okay, it's fine. If you have a lisp, that's cool. That's good. It's good. I don't know why it's good. It's neutral.
It's neutral. Yeah.
It's neutral, okay?
Yeah.
All I'm saying is I was not ready for it. And honestly, I don't really care that much. In fact, it's funny to me now. A lot of things became quickly funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was pretty bad at there was one moment where he tried to do a fade between two songs, and it did sound like a herd of cats on a train cart derailing. It was
I don't remember that for what it's worth, but
it was rough.
Yeah.
It was rough. And also Claire picked most of the music, which is important.
And then he didn't play it.
He didn't play it to start. Yeah, he played just random stuff. Okay. Again, not adapting to the couple, which I feel like is an essential part of this role.
Yeah.
But there was one point where he played, because Claire was like, oh, tell me some of your favorite songs. And I don't know if I realized that she was talking about the wedding. And I just told her some of my favorite songs. And then there was a Lana Del Rey song that played. And boy, was that fucking... It was an immediate, it was the crowd died at the
no.
Because this is not a dance song.
No.
It's pretty whiny poetry, in fact.
Was it Norman fucking Rockwell?
It was from that album, yes. Okay. It was the second song. It was Mariner's Apartment Complex.
Oh, that is not a dance song.
This song's a banger, not a dance song.
Right.
So I had to sit there awkwardly and accept it, being like, I did this. Even though I didn't mean to do it.
Right.
So there's that. But yeah, aside from that, fine. If you're out there, you're planning a wedding, Morgan obviously disagrees. I fully believe in hiring someone who has sound equipment that they themselves own and are familiar with, to just worry about that. Especially if you like music and dancing, unlike Morgan. Just be like, okay, you handle this. I'll trust you. I'll pay you a decent amount to just set up the equipment and handle it. Because sound equipment is not the easiest thing to set up. I mean, sure, you can just be a man who plugs in a phone or a laptop to a speaker. Yes. Yeah. You can do that. But if you want something slightly more complicated than that, I recommend hiring someone. Yeah.
Well, and what I was going to say was, I have no problems with the setting up the sound equipment, the amount of sound equipment, and the complexity of the sound equipment. It is the DJ
it's the personality
and the DJ doing DJ things where I'm like, shut up. Like, if you can just sit in a corner and be quiet and play music and make sure everything's going smoothly, that is perfect. Do not speak to me. Do not speak to anybody. Stay, pretend, just hide in the corner. Please.
What if he interrupted the wedding and said, I just wanted to interrupt this wedding to give a quick announcement from me, 3 Dog, coming at you.
Oh, from the Capital Wasteland?
Yeah.
What if he was, wow.
Bow wow wow. Yeah.
My whole family would be like, what?
Hey, the wedding's for you.
That's true. Well, and that's the hard thing about weddings, though, is it's like supposed to be for you, right? But it's really fucking hard to make it for you.
But it's really for your mom.
Yeah, no, that's a little bit what it feels like, kind of.
Yeah, hey, best wedding advice I can give anyone is just remind yourself that it is for you and the person you're marrying, and not for anyone else.
Yeah.
I know that's hard if you're being like given money or something, like if you have like parents helping fund it, but I don't know, be a little assertive. Also, rule of thumb, you're not allowed to ask the bride anything on the day of the wedding. Just blanket statement, end of story. Ask the maid of honor.
Yeah.
Like, dude,
yeah.
I think that is a rule that I heard just someone from our church say, and I'm like, that is a great rule, because everyone just instinctively goes to the bride, and it's like, this is okay. Before the wedding day, sure. Wedding day, that needs to be over with. And if something needs to be asked, you should ask someone else who can be responsible for it.
That makes sense. Yeah.
I didn't say the groom because no one's bothering to ask me fucking anything. So
right. Well, so that was like part of the problem. So like when we were talking about like, oh, the wedding's for your mom, like in my case, I didn't have, like, my mom was by no means being overbearing about any of that. So the thing is, like, I'm a woman, right? But I am not the most feminine creature on God's green earth by any means.
No.
And so there's like this like expectation of like, well, you should know, like, oh, like, don't you feel passionate about like your colors and this and that? And I'm like, I do not give a shit. Well, I just want to be married.
Claire
can
had
you please?
a similar issue. Yeah.
Can we please I just want to get this over with so that I can enjoy married life now. Please and thank you. Okay. Like, it felt like a hurdle to jump over rather than like something that I was actually like really happy to do, which I don't know, that might bump some people out, but I'm happy. I'm happy now. So like, I don't know. It's also expensive as hell, so it's like, well, I don't want to like blow my money on this one day instead of being, I don't know, smarter with my money, I guess.
I want to talk about the expense real quick. Yeah. So this was something that terrified me at the time. Yeah. Because I'm like, everything's like, we're talking about things in the thousands of dollars, and I literally started my first like post-college big boy job maybe like 6 months prior to getting married. So I had already like committed without having a job, which I thought was kind of fun. Like I proposed without having a job. I was like, let's just fucking go for it. If she says yes, she's locked in.
You knew that she was going to say yes.
She's like, locked in.
Yeah.
She's marrying me when I'm a fucking bum. I mean, this is a good sign. But yeah, so I like just started making like real money, an actual income. So like the cost of things was like, what? That's a lot of money. I don't know. It's hard, but especially if you're getting married young, and like maybe like moving into your first like apartment or your first like shared living situation or something like that, or you haven't lived together for very long and like don't have a bunch of stuff, you recoup the cost, or at least I did. And this was in spite of me like being afraid to put too much on my wedding registry. Like I was like, I don't want to ask for all this stuff. This is like unreasonable. But especially if you have like a good amount of people coming, it's like they can split stuff or whatever. Wedding registries are kind of like advanced now. So I don't know. It's like we put in all this money, and it is like, oh, in return, we had the wedding, we got married, but we also ended up with like a ton of the stuff that we needed to like start living in a home together. Yeah. Like, because prior to that, I just like lived on my own in college, so I had like, I don't know, 2 forks and a linen napkin.
A pot.
Like I didn't have exactly. I had pot, and that was how I cooked everything. I had potty. That's what I used for hamburger helper and for frying them eggs. I mean, that's because that's all the cooking that was being done in college. God, also I look back, I do cringe about how I think about this frequently with like the cookware that we have now and like my knowledge of how to properly cook and maintain kitchens and the cookware itself. And I think about how I was using like a scraped up nonstick pan and like a metal spatula.
Yep.
And it's like, well, that might have knocked a few years off my life.
Oops. Yeah.
Just ingesting Teflon or something probably. So,
yeah, there was a period in college. This is going to sound depressing and scary, which at the time it didn't really seem, I don't know what was going on with me. There was a solid few months where I was probably having only one meal a day.
What year in college was that?
What year was that? Sophomore year in college.
So I wasn't there. I wasn't there to rally the morale. So.
No, you weren't there. I had a fairly active. I was in like an apartment situation with 3 other people, and so the kitchen seemed to always be crowded, and I was shy and anxious, and also broke and couldn't afford a lot of food. So there was a time where I was only having like one meal a day, and then like. Like my hair started to fall out a little bit, and I was like, this is a problem.
I think our hair started to fall out at around the same time.
Yeah, maybe. Now, well, I mean, mine recovered.
Yeah, that's nice.
Sorry. But yeah, then I started, after that year, I think I started having fairly regular meals. No, still pretty shitty diet, actually. And yet that was the least amount I ever weighed as an adult.
What were you clocking in at?
Oh man, probably like 135. And like, so it was a combination of like I was eating like shit, wasn't getting enough meals, and I was walking everywhere. So like. Yeah, I don't know.
Dude, I'm a decent bit taller than you, despite me forgetting that frequently.
Yeah.
I think we weighed the same. So
really?
Just to point out how fucking
like in college?
Yeah, I was paper thin.
I was gonna say, were you eating enough?
Oh boy, was I.
Oh, I do remember seeing pictures of like breakfast and stuff that you would make all the time. You would make it. You seem to make big breakfasts a lot.
I have never gone a day without eating like at least 2 eggs.
Okay.
And plus 2 eggs plus accoutrements. So yeah, I would have to be in a rough shape to opt into not feeding myself because I eat so much.
Well, you're also very physically active, so like that's necessary.
Yeah, there's like a variety of things. Like I guess I definitely have a high metabolism. Like I definitely burn more calories than the average person by doing literally nothing. Because I eat so goddamn much. And so in high school, end of high school, I was 125. 125 pounds and like 5'11". So I was fairly thin.
Yeah.
And I think even prior to that, I was probably like 115, maybe 110. So I was a stick boy.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah. And that was still me eating fucking nonstop. And then I know going into college, like by the end of college, I weighed myself occasionally. I didn't have a scale or anything, but like you just like catch on if you go to the doctor or something. It's like, oh, I weigh this much now. I gained 20 pounds by the end of college, so I was 145. Still maybe skinny.
Okay, now that's also the weight. At least when I got married, I was at 145. Just about. Okay. So that's funny. Anyway, I have
significantly bulked up. I am 175 now.
Oh damn! Oh yeah, no, you're like 20 pounds heavier than me now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been working on getting denser.
Okay.
I feel like 175 is a good weight for me. This is a great discussion for fucking who cares about this. Anyway, weddings?
Yeah, I don't know how we got. How the fuck did we get here? We were talking about food.
Anxiety, not eating.
I guess. Ugh. I don't know. I don't know how this happened.
I really don't know. Anyway.
Being broke.
Being broke.
Yeah.
Being broke never stopped me from eating. In college, I formed the habit of just not going out to eat ever. So whenever we would go out to eat with our group of friends.
Yeah.
I often just didn't get anything. I just sit there and be like,
sat there at the table.
Like, no, I'm not spending $15 on food. I could buy fucking Celeste. You know? That's always how I justify it. But I could be buying a video game right now.
Right.
So yeah, that was good.
And then I was also calculating, like, anytime I ordered at a restaurant, I was like, okay, how much food is this going to give me? And is it going to reheat well? Is this something that's going to give me leftovers? How many meals can I stretch this into? Mm-hmm. That's where I was at. I
cooked a lot. My like go-to in college was I would grab like bread and lunch meat and cheese, which has worn on me and I no longer can do.
Yeah, like, no, I hate lunch meat sandwiches so much.
Giving me a lunch meat. Now I would zhuzh it up as much as I can. Mm-hmm. I would do the frying. I would slap some butter on the bread and you know, get a little panini.
Yeah, there's a decent. Yeah, you can get some decent zhuzhing.
Yeah, you can zhuzh it up enough without going crazy, balling on a budget. But yeah, I would do like the lunch meat stuff, so that would be like a thing. There are these like packets of rice, like rice-a-roni and Knorr packets, and I'd be like, that's a meal, and that's 34 cents or something at the time. Yeah. It's like, okay, that's fine. So I got that, and then I would just grab like vegetables and rice and sriracha, and that was just like my poor person. Oh, and eggs, of course.
Right.
And I'd just be
Protein.
like, okay, yeah, and that would just be like, okay. And sometimes I would get like actual meat, but yeah, that was the go-to of like, okay, I chopped up a potato, a carrot, and a stick of celery, and I'm having 2 eggs and just putting sriracha on it to make me feel something. And it was good enough. I was like, oh, you know what? I'm not gonna waste away with something like this. This is probably hitting everything I need.
Yeah, what did I had a lot of frozen pizza.
I would get the square frozen pizzas.
Yeah.
That was a delicacy.
A lot of, so I would eat, this is probably gonna weird some people out, sorry. Cottage cheese. Okay.
Yeah, already weirded me out.
Cottage cheese, plain potato chips. Put the cottage cheese in a bowl, sprinkle black pepper on it, dip the chips in it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because you get protein, I'm pretty sure. There's protein in cottage cheese, right?
Yep,
okay, so that was probably
a decent amount.
A chunk of my protein was covered from fucking cottage cheese.
Yeah, that's not bad. That's not horrific.
Yeah. What else? I remember making soup a lot.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I would get the Campbell's chunky jambalaya.
Oh, I would do that too. You reminded me. I would also do that. I would have a few of those on tap, ready to go.
Yep. Well, I remember at my apartment, my pantry, my kitchen was too overcrowded, and so I was keeping soup in my desk drawers. I had a little food stash in my fucking desk.
God,
that was so depressing.
You just live like gremlins for a while.
Yeah. And then I got out of college and I didn't know how to stop living like a gremlin because then COVID happened.
You still got soup in your drawers. I see a can of soup right next to you, in fact.
No, it's almonds.
Oh, it's almonds.
Yeah, it's a little thing, almonds. Yeah. Well, yeah, I didn't know how to take care of myself anymore after all that bullshit. And then I still kind of don't. I don't know. Let's just say if it was not for Sage.
You don't. Yeah. Sage will snap pictures of you not taking care of yourself. And he just sent one a while ago of you just like working from the floor.
Right.
And I've seen your desk. I've come to your house. I've seen your desk set up a couple times. And not to judge. The cables could be tidy and you could stand the desk up. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I would say if it wasn't for Sage, it would be worse.
Oh, it would be worse. We've talked so much about like your shitty setups that you've had.
Yeah, the best one.
the best one by far is the floor TV.
Yeah.
Like, just playing. Okay, the floor TV in combination with you having like a 2-inch USB micro cord to keep your controller charged.
Because I didn't have batteries.
Because you couldn't possibly spare a few cents for batteries.
No.
Or even rechargeable batteries, or a longer USB cord. There's a lot of solutions.
And then, so I think because of that, and because of my shitty posture and not taking care of myself, I started to get sciatic nerve pain, which I don't know if you've ever had that before.
Can't say I have.
Okay, well, it's like a crazy fucking, like, it like shoots down your lower back, and sometimes it can make like a nerve shoot all the way down your leg, and it feels really weird. And this was happening, I will say, during quarantine. Mental health already completely in the fucking toilet.
Yep.
Completely in the toilet. Oh, horrible. Worst state of my life, honestly. And so then I start getting these weird like leg spasms and leg pain, and I'm like, this is it. I'm dying. This is it. This is as far as I go. I don't know what's happening to me, but this is going to kill me. What? No. Just pure insanity for like, I don't know, maybe 2 years of my life. But, I went and got my back popped a few times. And
you went to the chiropractor.
Yeah. I think she was like, oh, your pelvis is twisted. So actually, like, one leg is longer than the other right now. And that's why you're having this nerve pain, because, like, your weight is not being distributed equally. Like, I had all kinds of stuff wrong with me. And then it did get better. And it doesn't happen anymore. But... yeah, I caused myself issues. Yes. Yep, exactly. It was down my left leg, just like that picture. Yes. So remember, kids, self-care is important.
Doesn't it suck that, like, it's so hard to, like, thread the needle of enough physical activity to keep you healthy and not too much to ruin your body?
Yeah.
Because it's it's like you work at a desk.
Right.
You work at a desk, low impact. And still, it's like, I got to make sure I don't get carpal tunnel. I got to make sure I don't get sciatic nerve pain. Like, I got to sit right and all this. It's honestly embarrassing. It's like, it would kill me to go up to a construction worker and be like, oh, I hurt my back doing nothing.
Well, yeah, and it sucks because, like, I mean, like, for me at least, all of my hobbies use my wrists.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I could. Yeah. I'd be afraid of carpal tunnel if I was you. Just like with the drawing and stuff specifically. Yeah.
Well, there was a point where, and this hasn't happened in a very long time, but when I sit in my office chair, and this was even happening when I was working in an office, I would lean on my armrest in such a way that I think I was like pinching a nerve or something in my elbow, and it was making my ring finger and my pinky go numb for just hours at a time, and I would be like, this is an insane feeling, and I hate this. Bodies are just born to fall apart, I guess, in some way or another.
Ain't that right? Anyway, weddings. One of the things that I wanted to touch on real quick, I am very grateful for being willing to spend this amount, because I think it was definitely worth it, is a photographer. I do not recommend skimping on a photographer. Secondary bullet point on this is I do not recommend hiring a photographer that is your friend.
Okay.
Or not like your friend, like you would have to hate them. But like, if it was like, because we have a friend, Cody, and I was like, oh, maybe Cody would do the wedding, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, I think in retrospect, bad idea. And if it's a situation where it's like, oh, you take a few shots, build your portfolio type thing, yeah, definitely throw a bone like that. But like having a friend who's like into photography or something, first of all, just have them be at the wedding. They're your friend. Don't have them be working.
Yeah.
That's weird. I don't know how much we paid for a photographer. We locked in with someone who like raised their rates like soon after, because they were pretty good. I like it a lot. I like it quite a lot.
You guys have some good pictures.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Don't skimp on the photographer. Obviously don't go crazy. And I know some people do wedding videos. As someone who works in video production, I cannot think of anything that I would find less appetizing than a video. Because as someone who makes corporate videos and has seen wedding videos, I know they're all the same. And also, I don't want to see it because I'm just going to watch it and think about how it's being like kind of produced or whatever. Claire disagrees with me on this, and you can have your own opinions, audience, of course. But yeah, the wedding video is something that I find wholly unappealing. I just love the simplicity and like frameability of just a nice photo that encapsulates the moment in one image.
Yeah.
And because like the video, it's like you actively have to like put it on, go back to it. Photographer, you know, you get a handful of pictures, you frame them, stick them around your house, be like, oh yeah, I got married that one time. And that happened, or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is one of the contentious points with my mother before I give it to you, is that she was not a fan of our photographer's photos. And I like staunchly disagree with her on this. Specifically, she's like, they're colored strangely. And I'm like, that's the point, Mom. That's the point. To me, it's got like a muted, greenish, yellowish sort of grade going on. Like,
okay.
And to me, I'm like, this is like a nostalgic sort of look. And it's like, to me, I'm like, oh, this is perfect, because what is taking a photo if not creating a memory? And I'm just like, yeah, this is exactly the vibe that I want for the photos. And I got that through her portfolio. That is the look she goes for. And I'm like, that's perfect. But my mom sees it and it's like, the bouquet is the wrong color. And I'm like, I don't give a shit.
I would say that
that's
I would
where we
argue
differ.
that doesn't really matter, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. In fact, I don't want realism. I don't want you to just... That's what like cell phones are for. Not like a photographer. I'm paying you to like basically come in and like turn this event into little artistic snapshots. So
yeah. Oh yeah.
Do that.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
What I was going to say, and my tidbit is to anyone who is not yet married, and specifically, well, this could apply to everybody, I guess, but specifically brides. I guess maybe something that I regret about my wedding, which there's not, I would say there's hardly anything that I regret, because that's not even like it wasn't the main important thing to me anyway. But I will say, looking back at my pictures, when you are like deciding on how you're going to do your hair and makeup and stuff, I know there can be like an urge to want to like go all out or whatever, because this is like your big day and like you want to look perfect or a certain specific way or whatever. But my advice would be to make sure that whatever you're doing with your hair and makeup, that you still feel like you and look like you when you look in the mirror. Because like my regret, so like let's say you're someone who like normally keeps your hair down and you have an updo for your wedding day. So my regret is that my hairstyle on my wedding day was like totally different from what I ever do in real life. So like I look at my pictures now and I'm like, this doesn't even really look like or feel like me. And that makes me sad.
I get that. I relate to that because I wanted to get married before I shaved my head. And now retrospectively, I'm like, I wish I was bald at my wedding. Yeah. Because I'm bald for the rest of my life now. And now at these wedding photos, I have hair.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, this could definitely apply to dudes too, like facial hair or like any like hair coloring you might want to do or styling or anything. Yeah. Just make sure that like when you look in the mirror that you feel good about how you look and that it's like, yeah, this is me. I feel like I'm myself or whatever, because that's something that I definitely notice when I look back at my pictures is I'm like, it's just not me. I don't know.
So you're saying I shouldn't cosplay as Shrek for my wedding. I should be more authentic. How you
feel your best.
All right. That's how I feel. Man. Yeah. Me and Shrek and Fiona getting married.
Me and who?
Who? So, all right. I don't know if I have anything else to add, honestly. I'm pretty satisfied with this, but I feel like there could be something. I mean, just to recap, I was like, I don't like the dry. I prefer the open bar. That's what I'd go for. If I could redo it, I'd be like open bar Foley instead of like the cash situation.
Yeah.
Better food. Better
I would also
DJ.
have invested in better food.
Yeah. Yeah. Food is expensive though. Like that is a big bulk of cost is paying for that meal.
It's true.
I'm very happy with the photographer I got. Yeah, I don't know. Get married. It's the financial cheat code for Gen Z. You need to get married.
Yeah, it kind of is.
You need to get married. You need to combine your finances. You can't make it on your own. Isn't that terrible though?
Yeah,
like,
no,
isn't that terrible?
That's not how it should be.
How many people are like just stuck in quotes in a relationship because it's like I can't afford to leave. It's like we went back to the 50s.
Yeah, no, I think it happens like a way too high.
Mm-hmm.
It should not happen ever, honestly. Mm-hmm. But the way that things are at the moment, that is reality for a lot of people, and it sucks.
Yeah,
I'm very sorry.
When I like look at our finances and stuff, it's like, man, I don't know how we would be saving for anything if we weren't married and working towards the same goal. Yeah. So, yeah, I get when people get married later in life and don't want to combine finances. I kind of get that. I don't agree with it. Like, I think I would still want to, but like, I understand, especially if you've been in other long relationships that have ended. And it's like, you're kind of afraid to again get like intertwined with someone. Right. I understand. I just think that there's so many benefits, assuming you completely trust this person, of course.
True. Right. Yeah. If it's the type of person that can't, well, honestly, if they're the type of person where you can't trust them with finances, maybe you should be together.
Finances like are very important.
Yeah.
Yes. If you can't trust them with finance, that's why people often leave. So
no, well, I was going to say I'm not going to go into details, but I have encountered a situation recently in my life where I have seen that marrying a certain type of person who has certain financial habits can completely and utterly fuck you over in ways that are so horrible and depressing, and you don't want to be in that situation.
I guess like marriage advice. One of the ways that I feel like I love my wife and my family in the future is going to be the money management, the wealth management, like having a plan for where our dollars are going and what they're doing, and like ensuring that it is like safe and we have emergency funds and there's a plan and we're not going to accidentally live beyond our means. That's one of my contributions.
And that is a wonderful contribution, might I just say.
And it's like, it's kind of changed my perspective on just like income in general. Because it's like, I don't know. I think about like, just through like focusing and like, because lifestyle creep is such a thing, Morgan. I'm sure you've.
It probably is, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you've noticed.
I think about this, yeah, for sure.
Like, it's like, especially like, I don't know, like we know some people who are in like the medical field, and this person in particular, I'm not worried about this happening to, but like you see this happen where it's like, you rack up like a shit ton of debt in like med school, and then you immediately start your job and it's like very high paying, and you just immediately like jump to like a lifestyle that level of income affords without like taking care of like the other obligations of your debt and stuff. Or just like, it's like, I got a raise, I spend more money. That type of thing. Yeah. Hey, everyone, it's good to live below your means. I don't know what the fuck this podcast is anymore.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, I have my own, like, marital advice as well to give now, so keep going, by all means.
I don't know, I was just going to say, live below your means, and, if you're combining finances, love your spouse through how you spend your money, so.
That's a really sweet way to put that, and and I think, it's important, because I feel like there's more to being, I guess, quote-unquote, faithful to your spouse that doesn't have to do with just not cheating on them, like, you are faithful in how you handle finances, and you're faithful in how you respond to them when they're having a hard time and meeting their emotional needs. And like, there's all different sorts of aspects to being faithful.
Because in this capitalist society, this one resource is what facilitates everything. Like healthcare, food, shelter,
right.
clothing, fun stuff is what just like everything. So like proper management of it is very important. And that's not something I realized until I was like 25. I was literally completely dumb to this for much of my early 20s. So if that's you, don't feel bad. Don't feel bad.
Yeah.
It's okay. I was an idiot for a very long time. Like I just straight up like didn't look up how much debt I was in for a long time. I just like went to college and was like, whatever. I know. That's kind of the thing too. It's like not dealing with it makes it worse. Just being like, oh, I just have a general money anxiety. It is weird how anxieties are lessened when you deal with them. Just saying, just throwing that out there. I know it's like the most obvious advice, but it is like, you're scared of something, maybe understand it more. And that's kind of like
scared.
Yeah. All right, I'll let you give advice to all the young gamers out there.
Okay.
Little gamers, the young gamers.
So what I had to say, you obviously hit the nail on the head with the financial stuff, so I don't really need to say anything else about that, I don't think. Well, I don't know. I guess mine is a little bit, has to do with financial stuff. So Claire and I, and I think we've kind of talked about this on the podcast before, maybe just barely kind of touch on it. But Claire and I especially come from and we have both been impacted by evangelical Christian culture, shall we say.
Oh, yeah.
And we have both been impacted by the purity culture and the biblical gender roles thing. And I have had 2 long-term relationships in my life. One of them is very wonderful and healthy, and that is the man that I'm married to. And one of them was very shitty and very bad. Shall we say?
I was there for both of them.
I was going to say, Clayton is intimately informed about both of these things and has witnessed both of them go down. Yeah. What I was going to say is, okay, first of all, never, ever, ever sacrifice your financial independence and stability for a man's ego.
Ladies?
What?
Ladies? This one's for you?
Yes, this is for the ladies, yes.
I guess men too, I don't know, but yeah.
Or I guess for your partner's ego in general. If your partner is insistent, like, I can provide for us, it's like, okay, cool, but what if something happens? Anything could happen, is the thing, the unfortunate thing. So, do not do that. You need to have, you need to have a work experience of some kind. You need to be able to support yourself. Just in case. Maintain that safety net. Do not sacrifice that safety net for anything. That's all I'm going to say about that. And then my other bit of advice is you cannot, because I have tried, you cannot love somebody into loving you the way that you want to be loved. You have to find somebody who loves you in this specific way. And when I say the way that you want to be loved, not the way that you're telling yourself you want to be loved. You have to dig deep and be very honest and vulnerable with yourself and not be scared to admit when you want to be loved in certain ways or what you want. Because if you deny that, that is how you get into shitty situations where someone is treating you like crap and you just tolerate it. Because and you make excuses and you stay in that situation way longer than you should ever bother doing that. So that is my advice to the ladies.
It's rough out there. Yeah. So everyone go find the perfect person. It's rough.
Right, yeah.
Like I get it.
It's so simple.
It's really hard. Like, I don't know. There is it's weird. It's a fine line between like there being improvement with a relationship that comes with long-term commitment. Like relationships it's just a deeper connection with like a long-term committed thing. But at the same time it is like, but at the same time, don't just stick it out hoping they change type thing. It's
yes. I can promise you that being lonely is a better feeling than whatever you're feeling in your shitty relationship.
Yeah, and also you're just by staying in that, it's like you're closing yourself off from the opportunity of another relationship.
Yeah.
You're closing yourself off from life happening. yeah, it could be an open relationship. This is 2025 at the time of recording. Yeah. So, hey, little gamers are getting freaky out there. They're, you brought up so basically you were with someone who wanted a trad wife, as the kids would say now.
Yeah. Had some interesting things to say about me. Like, you would make a decent trophy wife, and I don't know why I accepted that as a compliment. That should be a red flag. You should run wild. If someone says that to you. This is
everyone. This is the first time I'm hearing this. I don't know what that meme is from. I think it's Donald Trump, actually.
Oh, geez.
This is the first time I'm hearing this.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that you hadn't heard that.
I didn't hear that one. I've heard a lot of things. I remember hearing that he specifically and explicitly said that your job could not be more important than his. I do remember that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that one, I think garnered quite the chuckle from me. I know I'm a very supportive friend to just fucking bust up laughing when you tell me some ridiculous shit, but it was ridiculous shit, and I had to laugh.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is that, so I had, frankly, kind of worked my ass off to be able to graduate college early. And I was literally on the threshold of graduating after I had worked my butt off, secured a good job, or a decent job, right? And then you're telling me that, that's actually not important here, and that's not really worth consideration. That's never going to be worth consideration. Just the amount of sheer disrespect in that. I was like, what? And like, I mean, thankfully I had enough, I don't know, I guess like self-confidence, and I had, enough of my own experiences and personal beliefs and thoughts and things to be like, this is bullshit. Cause like, I'm sure that if he had said that to the wrong person, that would have like, that they would have, I guess like, given into that mindset and been like, well, yeah, I guess you're right. You're the man, and that can get you into very dangerous, very bad situations. So just beware.
There should be not. I sounded like Yoda or something. There shouldn't be that type of like power imbalance.
No.
In America, you need. First of all, why do you want to marry someone who you view as like less competent or less capable?
Yeah.
You should be marrying someone, dare I say, that you aspire to be in certain ways, like someone who is equally, if not more, capable and competent. And that should be a mutual feeling,
yes.
Not like a yeah.
Well, and also like with the outlook of, I'm looking for a trad wife, you have to be very, very careful. I'm not saying that every single man who says that he would like to be able to support a stay-at-home wife is a bad man. That's not what I mean. However, with the mindset of somebody who is looking for a trad wife, there is a very real, very likely risk that is the type of man who thinks of women as lesser, just on a fundamental level. You are less intelligent. You are not a fully realized complex being to him. When that's simply not true. You should have your own dreams and ambitions, and you are just as a fully realized, fleshed out, complicated person as any man. That this is me on my feminism pedestal right now.
That's right. Yeah. I want to actually come back to the trad wife lifestyle real quick, because I feel like in the discussion of, and I understand the animosity towards it, because I assume a lot of people are immediately picturing a situation like the one you were in, where it was a man who, not for the potential benefits of having a someone in the relationship who can stay at home and take care of home duties and stuff, not from like the benefits that would provide to the relationship for both people, but more from like this is the traditional way of doing things. And we'd have to fit in that way, and also you're not as important as me. So I understand the hatred from the trad wife to the trad wife thing from that perspective. Dare I present a slightly alternate take? I am actually I believe in like okay, if you want a relationship where both of you are very focused on your careers, I think that's great. I think it sucks that we are in a financial and economic reality that basically requires that for most people.
Yeah.
Like there's no option for one partner to stay at home for a lot of situations. And I do feel like, especially if you want to have kids and stuff, there is potentially a great benefit to being able to raise your own child in their early like preschool years. And that's something that like we've like run the numbers on, me and Claire, because I'm like, there's a situation where it's like maybe I would stay home, and maybe I would like work part-time or in like a freelance capacity to like not completely, because also childcare is very expensive. So in some situations, that's the calculation that gets made, where it's like, it doesn't actually make sense for me to work. It makes sense for me to take care of the kids if we have like 2 or like 3 or something like that. Just because childcare costs, it's like I'm losing money, or it's like I'm basically going to work just to pay someone to take care of my kids, when I could just take care of my kids. And we've like tried to figure it out, because I like it. It sounds idyllic, because like we experienced this slightly because Claire works in a school, and we have the summers where I am at work and Claire's at home, and it is really nice to just, because normally we both come home, we're both tired, we're fucking feral over here, like everything is a disaster constantly. Claire's home, and it's like, it's so great that you like had time to like take care of some like chores, basically, like to like maintain our house and like just take care of things that it's like, it is hard and exhausting to like be on it like after work to like just prepare stuff.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know. I wish that this was an option for people who were interested in it. Basically, I want people to be able to do what they want to do. I understand that someone has to provide money to like a family. And it doesn't have to be the woman. I'd be totally fine like staying at home. Like as of now, Claire makes more money than me. So that was kind of like the calculation we were working with. Like, okay, you make more money than me right now. You have better benefits. If I didn't work, what would that lifestyle look like? What would the income look like? Does it make any sense when compared to like the cost of 2 kids in a daycare or something like that? This is again, fucking awesome podcast right now. Wow. God, if I just like get talking, I just get on the most like boring shit possible.
Meanwhile, someone in our audience is like, write that down.
If you made it this far, I don't know, you might care about this. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
Hopefully we filter everyone who wouldn't care about family planning. On this retro video games podcast. Jesus Christ. If you didn't take our advice earlier in the episode and listen to a different episode, you fucked up. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Morgan, how do you feel about that? Is there any situation where you or Sage would consider just being like, I'm going to step back and rear the children?
Oh, geez. I don't know. I mean, maybe. Well, so like for me, like my parents had the benefit. Well, I don't know. You can think what you want about this, I guess. But my parents both, I think I've mentioned this before, they both own their own businesses. So I was not sent to daycare because I
mean, I did
was
this too.
Chilling, with adults all day at businesses, which I mean, they always had like a place for me to be that was like child appropriate or whatever.
Around all the power tools. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. But so I had the benefit of getting a lot of like one-on-one time with my parents. And so I really understand the value that comes, just like developmentally speaking, from having so much time with your parents and like, I think that probably had like a really positive impact on like my early childhood education and stuff like that. So I would
I say it's the way it's meant to be. I don't know.
Well, it's like I would really like to provide that same opportunity to like really connect with my kids and pay attention to them and like do as much as I can for them in that way. because I don't know, man. And I also, so when I did go to like after school programs or like, I don't know, quote unquote daycare or whatever, I was never like in an official daycare or anything, but you know what I mean? Man, sometimes other kids are stinkers and that could be kind of traumatizing.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I
mean, it's like socially helpful, but at the same time, yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. Well, it's like, I don't know, like I'm just sitting there and then they're like beating each other up and I'm like, what? Like I was sensitive to these things. I didn't like it. It made me upset.
That's funny.
But all that to say, yeah, no, I think that there is a very real benefit to being able to do that. I think people should have the option to do it and that it should be sustainable if they want to. I just, my problem with like the trad wife, I don't know, system or whatever is it is, it is, I don't know, maintained by this idea that women are lesser, that women's work is lesser, that women's labor, all of the labor that goes into maintaining the household and the children and all that stuff is undervalued in trad wife households. In my experience, from what I've seen.
I feel like you can, it's in some ways, I feel like you can spin both sides as negative.
Yeah.
Like it does come down to perception and like how the individual people are viewing,
right,
you know, the woman or the man who's like staying at home. But I feel like you could say the same thing about like both parents working. It's like, oh man, corporations have taken over and they're forcing us to just, they're wringing us dry as much as we will let them. And we will both work 40 hours, but no more. Look, I definitely understand that mindset. And like I feel both
that
sides
too.
Can
like
be
I feel jaded about that as well. Yeah.
Or they convince you that you like work. They convince you that this is your career and that you should leave your family for it.
Right. But it's like when your reasoning behind it is, oh, you need to stay in the house because this thousands of year old text that also says that a father should sell his daughter to her rapist said so.
Jesus Christ.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, hold on. How about we think about where this society, the cultural, like where was this when this was written? When was this? Why was this? How about we unpack that before we try to apply it to everybody as like the perfect catch-all?
That's a great idea, but that's too dang hard.
I know.
Too dang hard.
Takes too much time, too much brain
I'm
juice.
just going to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm just forget whatever you just said.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I was going to say something. No, how about this, Morgan? How about you move over to me and Claire? You know, move over to the area. Hear me out. Hear me out. I'll start a daycare.
Sort of commune.
I'll start a daycare. I'll be the one who takes care of the kids.
Okay.
You know? Yeah. Just kind of recoup the costs. You know, you pitch in a little bit. Hey, you and Sage both work from home. Daycare in your house. You can, you know, chat with the kids whenever you want. I'm right there. Throwing it out there.
Are you going to teach my kid how to read?
Oh, fuck. I'll bring someone in.
Okay.
I'm bringing an expert. I brought in this expert reader.
Right.
He's just the neighbor. Yeah. That's good. If you do move to the area, we have to have kids around the same time. This is completely strange. We need to end the podcast.
Okay. All right.
All right. On the next episode, we should be back to playing a game.
Should be.
I think we are going to do... Now, things are not set in stone. Still a little loosey-goosey. Summer's not over. I think we're going to attempt to play... I'm just saying it now. It could change. We're going to be playing The Last of Us, like we said last time. We may be discussing the first half of The Last of Us. We may break it into 2 episodes. Just because, based on that first recording, I think that there's a lot of content to discuss the way we are discussing it. Yeah. So it may be a 2-month situation. I don't know. And if your name is Sloan and you're really jonesing for us to get to Katamari Damacy, I'm sorry. It may take even longer.
Is it Damacy or is it Damacy?
Damacy. Domicile. We don't know. We're not that far yet.
Katamari Damacy. I could be wrong.
Damacy.
Damacy. Damacy?
I'm from the Midwest. Dempsey. So yeah, if you got anything to say about The Last of Us, shoot us a letter. You want to say anything about anything, shoot us a letter. We'll take it all.
And what is our next gameplay going to be?
Oh, yeah. We could start saying this too. So as of I'm planning on doing a speedrun of Crash. Crash Bandicoot. Don't think there's a subtitle for the PS1.
Yeah.
A game
Crash
that I have...
Bandicoot : the first game.
The first game. A game that I have flexed my proficiency in multiple times. We'll see if I look like a fucking chump whenever I revisit it, but that's the plan for now. I think I can beat it in one sitting, but we haven't tested this.
Yeah.
In my head, it's kind of short. I'm gonna say 4 hours.
Okay. We'll see.
Under 4 hours. Under 4 hours.
Okay.
But we will see. If it gets too long, hey, we might break it up. So yeah, that's my plan for later in this month of July. And August, we will be covering The Last of Us. But yeah, that's all I got. Anything else to say, Morgan?
Did you tell them where to send?
Oh yeah, analogschtickmail@gmail.com. It's also in the description.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for listening to this episode. Please support the podcast by leaving a review or rating on whatever platform you like to support the podcast. I'm not reading what is written. Please support the podcast by leaving a review or rating, or subscribe or follow to stay up to date with what we're playing. Someone must have changed the wording on this.
Oh, I wonder who that was.
There's no way
it was not me.
There's no way it's been the same. It might have been the same literally since we started. But yeah, whatever. Until next time. Goodbye.
Goodbye.